Morning, boys and girls. It's a blustery Tuesday, February the 17th here in the B&W. This is a delicious vapor reminiscent of, say, Elizabethan, the Stove Virginias. Another one of my house blends. How's everyone today? Hope you had a nice weekend. Mine was pretty good. Wife had Friday and Monday off, so nice being able to spend a little 4-day weekend with the family. This is delicious. So today, I have two controversial topics. 2-bit or not 2-bit? That is the question. But I want to talk a little bit about tampers. So first of all, bits. Softie bits, rubber bits, whatever you want to call them. I have one on the end of this pipe. I have mixed emotions about them. It's weird to me that in the pipe culture, softie bits are they're like training wheels. You're not a serious piper if you use a softie bit. You must be a noob. I think that's weird. I've got a fucked up mouth. I've got one of those mouths that dentists look at and go, man, you should have had braces. But I didn't. At one time I was 315 pounds, so apparently my mouth works just fine. So for years, decades, most of my pipes I've used as a softie bit just because it was more comfortable for me to clench. Just the way my overbite, underbite, offbite situation is. But then I got a couple pipes. This is a good example. This is one of my workhorse pipes. It's a little Rossi. I have smoked thousands of bolts through this pipe. And this pipe is perfect for me. And when I got this pipe, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that maybe, it started kind of changing my mind about bits. And I would say maybe half my pipes don't have bits and half of them still do. Love that pipe. Back to this pipe. There we go. Now we're rolling again. So then when I started getting nicer pipes anyways, up to like my Dunhills here, I had this idea that I needed to protect the pipe. I had to protect it from me. A vicious, savage animal. And I'd gnaw through it like a beaver on meth. But I don't. I'm definitely not one of those pipe collectors or enthusiast, hobbyist, whatever you want to call us. I'm probably less of a collector and more of an enthusiast. I don't worry about the value of my pipes. I don't worry about keeping this in pristine condition, so at some point when I go to resell it on eBay again, I'll get good value for it. when I get a pipe, if it goes in the rotation, I love the way it smokes. In my mind, I'm gonna have this pipe the rest of my life. So I don't know why I would put a softie bit on a nicer pipe. Some weird like, oh, well, this is a nice pipe, you need to protect it. So kind of what I've decided here recently is I've been thinking about this for a while. I know, we're dumb fucking pipe guys, what do you do? So the way that I kind of maintain my pipes, after I smoke a pipe, I clean it out. I'll probably do a video on that actually. And then every so often I'll do kind of a deep cleaning, really take it apart, get it cleaned out good, scrape the bowl nice, all that sort of fun stuff. Every time that I go to do kind of a deep clean on a pipe, I'm going to remove the bits if they have them. This pipe happens to be about due for that. And there's already a bunch of checking and stuff on the bit, so it needs to be replaced anyways. And assuming the pipe fits my mouth comfortably, I'm just gonna run them, see what I think. I think I'm gonna go on the theory of, instead of being worried that I'm going to mess up my pipe, I think I'm just gonna see if I do mess up my pipe. If I start seeing teeth indentions, things like that, marking it up, I may put a bit back on it, but just from the standpoint of, I can't replace this stem. Like this is 1980 Dunhill. I mean, I could have some sort of replacement stem made for it, I suppose, but that completely, totally takes the soul out of the pipe. So I want this stem to still be in good condition in 30 years so I can still smoke it. So if I end up being a chewer, which I don't think I am, but we'll see, then I'm going to put a bit on it. But I do like the smaller mouthfeel. Sometimes, depending on I like these fishtail bits quite a bit. A lot of my pipes run those. But some of those, especially when you put a softie bit on it, can get pretty big in your mouth. Kind of feels like a pacifier. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. How do you run bits? Do you run them to protect the value of a pipe? Do you run them to maintain the life of a pipe? Are they just more comfortable for you? Do you think that only pussies use them? I'm genuinely curious kind of what your thoughts are on it. Because I know that my thoughts have really evolved over the years on bits. So, that's my first topic. Coffee break. So my second topic today is going to be tampers. As you clearly see, I'm just your classic Czech guy. I got to tell you, this is what I use 99.9% of the time. That just seems to be the right size for any bowl I have. I use the spoon, scraper, whatever you want to call it, when I clean out my pipe at the end. I don't really use the little poker tool. Maybe way back when I used to pack a bowl too tight, try to poke air holes, that sort of shit. But when I clean a pipe, I don't use this. I have other tools to get into the stem and stumble and whatnot. The one thing I like about the Czech tools is I hold it in my hand like this, just drape it over my finger on my pipe hand. And it's just comfortable to smoke like this. I tend to pace a lot, wander around when I'm outside in the garage. And that's about the only time I actually sit and smoke a pipe. I'm usually pacing around. I'm just kind of that guy. And so if I set my Czech tool down, I constantly just lose it. So I've kind of developed this habit, just it's always right there attached to my hand. So that's probably reason number one why I use the check tool the most, is just it works in the way that I smoke a pipe. It's got the two things that I need most often, and it comfortably sits on my pipe hand. I also have one of these tools. I'm sure a lot of you do. So I use that little piece for doing kind of some deep cleaning work. I don't use it after every pipe. I think it's a little aggressive for every pipe, but I do use it when I'm cleaning a bowl decently. But I don't like that end at all. It's a little too wide. I don't mind the oblong shape, like fuck whatever, but it's a little too wide for some of my bowls actually, and I can't get all the way down towards the bottom. I also don't like the way that they put the little poker tool, how it sits underneath that tip. I get tobacco and shit stuck in there, and when I do use it as a tamper, oftentimes I'll kind of bring out maybe part of the cherry will get stuck underneath that little edge there. So I don't like this as a tamper, but I keep it because I use that a lot. I don't have a better tool at the moment. It's the only reason I really keep this, but I never use it as a tamper, oddly enough. Well, I guess not oddly enough. I just told you why I don't fucking use it. I don't like it. That's why. I've thought about taking a grinder and trying to grind that a little more round, but the poker end would still bug me, and I don't know. So I see all you fancy lads with your fancy tampers. The gentleman, man, I'm forgetting his name. I want to say Salty Dog, perhaps. There's a gentleman here in the United States who's kind of famous for his tampers. I've looked at his stuff a bunch. I love them. I would love to have an entire collection of those. Kind of every day, what pipe do I feel like? Do I want a Darth Vader pipe today? Is this more of like a chess piece day? I'd have lots of different days. But my problem is, I use this spoon a lot. Not a lot, I use it every single time when I finish my pipe. And again, the way that I hold the tamper, it's just convenient for me. And so I think about spending the money to get a tamper like that. And then I'm like, but I wouldn't carry it probably. If I'm going outside, I don't want to have to carry multiple tools with me. I want to just grab a check tool and a pipe and a lighter and be on about your merry business. So that's why I haven't. I don't know, one of these days I probably will. There's a bunch of neat ones out there. I'm a Superman freak, Star Wars freak, Lord of the Rings. There's so much out there in the way of custom tampers. I have some railroad date nails, and I've seen those turned into tampers. That's amazing. I love that. Some neat ones on Etsy, like cast iron, or not cast iron, forged tampers. So maybe one of these days I'll pick up another tamper, but till then, much like my lighter video, I just kind of default back to what's the easiest, what solves my problems with the least amount of bullshit, and that's a check tool, and it's apparently been for me and everyone else for decades, however long check tools have been around. I don't actually know. I think World War II, but if I'm wrong, someone in the comments tell me, please. My pipe go out. Well, appreciate you sitting with me for a few minutes. I know y'all are busy and got to get back to life and work and everything else. But if you got a second, drop some comments in there. I'm genuinely curious on your tamper situation and what y'all feel about bits. So, yeah, happy piping. You know me and my Dick Tracy. Cheers, everyone.